Kaley Cuoco officiates sister Brianna Cuoco's New Year's Eve wedding, a sister's vow. How Kaley Cuoco took center stage in the most personal role of her life. The final hours of 2023 were slipping away, ushering in the familiar, collective promise of a new beginning. But in a secluded, elegantly appointed California estate, surrounded by the soft glow of fairy lights and the scent of night-blooming jasmine, a more intimate, profound promise was being made. It was a promise not just between two people, but within a family. And the person tasked with shepherding this vow into existence was not a solemn-faced stranger in robes, but a beaming, tearful sister holding a binder, her heart on her sleeve, and a lifetime of shared memories in her eyes. This was the scene at Brianna Cuoco's New Year's Eve wedding, where the most talked-about officiant of the year wasn't a celebrity judge or a spiritual guru, but Hollywood star Kaley Cuoco, stepping into a role that blurred the lines between sisterhood, duty, and pure, unadulterated love. The event was more than a wedding. It was a testament to a bond that has weathered childhood squabbles, soaring fame, and the unshakable foundation of family, culminating in a ceremony that felt both breathtakingly grand and deeply, comfortingly personal. From screen lines to sacred lines, for Kaley Cuoco, the journey to the officiant's podium was one born of equal parts honor and panic. When her younger sister, Brianna, an accomplished actress and singer in her own right, became engaged to actor Burgess Jenkins, the question of who would marry them felt almost rhetorical. We were all just assuming it would be Kaley, Brianna has since shared in interviews. There was never really another option. She's my person. The request, however, was formalized with a custom-made "Will you officiate my wedding?" card, a moment Kaley recalls with emotional clarity. I absolutely lost it. I was so honored, and then immediately, I was terrified. Kaley confessed on a recent talk show appearance, her hands animatedly describing the wave of emotion. I'm an actor. I memorize lines for a living. But this was different. These couldn't just be lines. They had to be us. This distinction is what set the ceremony apart. Kaley did not simply download a generic script from the internet. She embarked on a months-long creative process, collaborating with the couple, jotting down anecdotes, and weaving their shared history into the very fabric of the service. She became a writer, a historian, and an emotional architect, constructing a ceremony that was uniquely them. I had this giant binder, she laughed. It was filled with notes, stories, the legal stuff, my own little reminders to breathe. I wanted it to be perfect for them. I wanted to make them laugh, and I knew I would cry. It was a whole production. The ceremony, laughter, tears, and a dash of Cuoco chaos. As the sun dipped below the horizon on December 31st, guests took their seats under a canopy of stars and delicate fabric. The air crackled with the dual excitement of a wedding and a New Year's celebration. When Kaley took her place at the front, binder in hand, the dynamic shifted. This was not Penny from The Big Bang Theory or Cassie from The Flight Attendant. This was Kaley, the big sister. What unfolded was a masterclass in personalized ceremony officiating. With the poise of a seasoned professional and the relatable nerves of a loving sibling, Kaley guided the service. She began by acknowledging the significance of the night, not just the turning of the year, but the beginning of Brianna and Burgess's lifelong journey. Then, she let the stories flow. She spoke of a childhood filled with shared rooms and whispered secrets, of Brianna's fierce independence and formidable talent that she admired from day one. She painted a picture of the little sister who was always watching, always learning, and who grew into a formidable woman of her own. She welcomed Burgess into the family not as a new addition, but as the missing piece they never knew they needed, sharing anecdotes that highlighted his character and the joy he brought to her sister's life. The ceremony was punctuated by laughter as Kaley recalled a particularly embarrassing childhood story, and sniffles could be heard throughout the audience as she spoke of their late grandfather, whose memory was a palpable presence. She seamlessly transitioned from heartfelt sentiment to lighthearted humor, her delivery natural and utterly authentic. The way she spoke about their bond, it wasn't performative, said one guest, who wished to remain anonymous. It was like we were all granted a privileged glimpse into the heart of their family. You could feel the love radiating from her and from Brianna and Burgess as they looked at her. It was pure magic. When it came time for the vows, Kaley took a step back, her role shifting from storyteller to facilitator. As Brianna and Burgess exchanged their promises, Kaley's face was a canvas of emotions, pride, joy, and the bittersweet acknowledgement of a chapter turning. She listened, her eyes glistening, a silent pillar of support. With the rings exchanged and the final pronouncement looming, Kaley gathered herself. Then, with a voice brimming with authority and love, she declared, "By the power vested in me by the great state of California, and the even greater power of being the big sister, I now pronounce you husband and wife." The crowd erupted in cheers and laughter. The line was perfectly Kaley, official yet personal, legal yet laden with the unassailable authority of sisterly love. The deeper trend, the rise of the meaningful officiant. Kaley Cuoco's role at her sister's wedding is a glittering example of a larger cultural shift away from traditional, anonymous officiants towards deeply personal ones. In an age where weddings are increasingly viewed as curated reflections of a couple's unique story, the person leading the ceremony is no longer just a functionary. They are a key character in the narrative. Couples today want their ceremony to be authentic, explains celebrity wedding planner Olivia Kensington. They want it to feel like them. Having a parent, a best friend, or a sibling officiate instantly personalizes the experience. That person knows the inside jokes, the struggles they've overcome, the real story of their love. You can't get that from a stranger. This trend speaks to a collective desire for meaning over formality. It's about surrounding oneself with the people who have borne witness to one's life and allowing them to play an integral part in its most significant milestones. For the guests, it makes the ceremony more engaging and emotionally resonant. For the couple, it creates an irreplaceable memory, a story they will tell for the rest of their lives. Kaley's performance, and it was a performance in the most sincere sense of the word, showcased the pinnacle of this trend. She was not just a famous face. She was the perfect officiant because she was the one person in the world who could bridge Brianna's past, present, and future with such intimate knowledge and unwavering love. A night of new beginnings. Following the ceremony, the celebration seamlessly merged with the New Year's Eve festivities. The new Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins celebrated their first dance as a married couple, and later, as the clock struck midnight, they shared their first kiss of the new year with their guests, confetti raining down amidst cheers and the strains of Auld Lang Syne. Throughout the night, Kaley was not the officiant anymore. She was the jubilant sister, dancing, laughing, and toasting the newlyweds. The binder was gone, replaced by a champagne flute, the weight of responsibility having lifted, leaving only the joy of the moment. In the end, the story of Brianna Cuoco's wedding is not just one of a beautiful bride and a handsome groom. It is the story of a sister who, for one night, set aside her own stardom to fully illuminate her sister's. Kaley Cuoco, the award-winning actress, proved that her most critically acclaimed role to date was one she was born for. The loving, supportive, and utterly devoted big sister. And in doing so, she didn't just officiate a wedding. She consecrated a bond, setting the stage for a new year and a new family built on a foundation of unwavering love and a few perfectly chosen, heartfelt words.